I have a question for you. What is your source? Can you answer that? See, I was minding my business, and Spirit kept asking, what is your source? My mind was brought back to a conversation that I had, and someone asked me, where do I think I would draw my power from if I had magic, like, or any type of special ability? Where would I draw my power from? And I was like, okay, Spirit, I remember that conversation I had. When I asked this person, what do they mean by where does my power or my magic come from if I had abilities? And they said something along the lines of, well, some people like plants. Some people like... I can't even recall exactly what was said after plants. So I'm just going to leave it there. There was a block when I tried to think further. So Spirit said that's not even worth mentioning. So I'm not going to mention that part. But my answer to that question was, I don't think I would have to go find any power outside of myself. I believe I am the source. I said I believe I am the source. I believe that I am the conduit that people would be able to draw from. I am the field that people come to ignite that which they want to ignite. If I'm doing something, it will be alchemized and energized, manifested through me. And that person was like, okay, I like that answer. That's the first time I got that type of answer. And to be honest with you guys, this was so long ago. Like right after I first started actually trying to learn more, after I had an awakening. And so I didn't know how right that was. I didn't know how right that was. I didn't know how right that was at all. So many people go looking outside of themselves and they are looking for information. Ooh, look at this confirmation chill bumps. Yes. They go looking for information outside of themselves. They feel like they can't get anything done unless they go outside of themselves. But Spirit is telling me to tell you guys, you should be your source. You going inward should be your source. Yes, we have things like plants or crystals, the sun, the moon, etc., etc., that can aid if you want to do certain things. But you should ultimately be your foundation. Because when I first had an awakening, I literally knew nothing. I had nowhere to go for answers. And I found myself on social media looking at things and asking myself, do I really feel comfortable or like myself doing these things I see on social media? The answer was no. And it wasn't until I started going within myself, understanding that I needed to gain an inner relationship, an inner standing with my soul, with my consciousness, with my state of being, with my nervous system, with all of my chakras, like my internal sacred geometry. There is nothing that cannot be achieved if you rebuild, restructure, remember your sacred internal geometry. Enhance your consciousness, your awareness, your state of being. Ground your energy. Like, you have to be willing to go inside yourself and trek through that trauma, that pain, that distortion, the lies, the guilt, the regret, ooh, the hatred that you have for yourself, the insecurities that you have for yourself. You cannot be amplified to your highest amplitude if you're not willing to prepare your vessel. Like, do the work. And as I'm seeing that, there's a confirmation. Because I literally have somebody in my neighborhood who literally does not take care of animals that she has. And so when they are willy-nilly doing things that should not be done, they used to get a rise out of me. I know the inner work I'm doing has not been in vain. And this is something that is so profound, because once your nervous system is really settled and your sacred geometry on the inside of you is actually aligned, there will be no more flight or fight responses when things arise, when situations occur. And so your nervous system can begin to keep you at a baseline where anything is possible, where anything can be magnetized, when anything can be alchemized. You'll be able to hold the gifts and abilities, the energy, the power, confirmation, the prosperity, the abundance, the change in reality, everything that you can imagine, because without imagination, there is no form of creation. You are your source. Your imagination is so important. If you are really looking forward to realigning your internal geometry, harmonizing all your chakras, and really have the pull to begin sacred geometry that you are designed to start, you will stop seeking all this outside hacks and tricks and social media fads and trends, because it's not going to be out there. And when you do it, you are going to discover it looked good when I saw it. Confirmation burp. But it yielded no fruit when I did it. You are your source. You are your source. You are your source. Awakened one, you are your source. But in the description of this video, I have a link to a free guided breathwork session in the form of a checklist. 6 simple steps that will lead you and show you how to intentionally breathe. And once you begin to learn how to step into intentional breathing, that becomes your stepping stool, and that becomes the building blocks for you to begin to become your own source. Watch how you may feel more aligned, centered, focused, clear. Trust your inner knowing more. Be settled within your being. Embody and integrate all of these abilities that are trying to arise. Where do you draw your power from? Where do you draw your magnetism from? The answer should be you. Yes. If this message resonated with you, go to the link in the description. Like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.